let's
Yeah.
start shooting out the link. I'll start putting it in Facebook. You guys hit Twitter, I'll hit Facebook. Got 6 viewers.
Already?
Yes, sir.
Just started.
And we're live.
Alrighty.
Oh,
Hello, hello,
yeah.
Hello.
hello, hello.
Hi.
I wasn't ready. I
How's
didn't get to
everybody
throw on my
doing?
like
We're
little makeup
back
or anything
for
like that.
the fourth Chicago FGC podcast with Lowkick with our special guest, SoliD Undrscore. Welcome.
Hey, what's up? How's it going, everybody?
Please introduce yourself.
Hey, my name is Jeremy Bizzle. My gamer
Oh,
tag is
hey.
Undrscore. I'm a sponsored Street Fighter player, and as well as in Smash Brothers and Injustice.
Nice. Oh, so you're
Ooh.
sponsored to play all those games.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. I didn't know you were a Smash player.
Oh yeah. Smash Brothers was actually my first game I started doing with tournaments, and then Street Fighter just kind of weaseled his way on
Okay.
in. So,
Okay.
Wait, didn't you say you started with Super Turbo though?
huh?
Didn't you say you like used to play Super Turbo when you were
I used to
younger?
play it casually.
Like, why didn't you? But you grew up with Street Fighter though. How
I,
you start with Smash Brothers?
I did, but Smash Brothers was actually the first game that I actually played somebody, competitively with,
Yeah.
as opposed to like just playing like in your room because
Yeah.
it's something to do after school.
Yeah.
So that, but just getting the feel of Street Fighter started there.
I get you. I get you.
And then Adivis. Introduce yourself again. We gotta
Oh.
always do our introductions, you know.
I mean, no
Just-
one wants to care about me. My story is old and boring and.
Well, at least for the people who didn't watch last week, this is a Divas.
Okay, well,
Right.
yes, I am a Divas. I am a Skullgirls player mainly. I am now a Eunice player too. Woohoo!
Awesome.
Hey, and I'm bit of a fighters player. Kind of not sure how I feel about that game. Um, I make good placements in Skullgirls tournaments, so there's that. There's my story. It's over.
All right, Aaron. What about
Uh,
you?
Claw some bombs. So my name's Aaron Sterling, as you can see on the
He remembered his glasses today.
right
Last
here.
night he forgot
Yeah.
his glasses.
Yeah,
Wow.
I did pretty bad in
And
our weekly yesterday.
he
'cause I didn't
blames
have-
his loss on his glasses, like I said he was gonna do.
Okay, I was a little sick yesterday. I didn't have my glasses, and I hadn't practiced in a week. I was at low power, but yeah, my
And
name's
with
Clark.
all that, all of that, you made what placing
I
yesterday?
think I made
Ooh.
I think I made 7th.
7th.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You
Pretty high.
had 3 things against you, and you went down 3 placings since the week before that.
Oh boy.
Good job, man.
Look, I know it's logical. It just feels
Right.
anyway. Yeah, I'm also a Skullgirls player mainly, and
He doesn't place as high as I do, though. I just want that to be clear. Everyone understands that? All right.
whatever, man. But yeah, I'm trying to be competitive in Street Fighter 5 and Fighters, and maybe some anime games in the future. But until Combo Breaker, just those 3 games.
No. Then me introduce myself for those of you who are just tuning in for the first time. I'm Ryan. I'm the guy who started Lowkick, and we're just out here doing things for the fighting game. Oh my goodness, we are disconnecting and reconnecting like there's no tomorrow. What is going on? Are we dropping internet here?
That was happening when I was trying to watch Twitch. Yesterday it would like pause and come back in.
For us, but I never got. So for those of you watching and going in and out, I apologize. We might be disconnecting, reconnecting. I'm not sure what's going on. This hasn't actually happened to us on stream. If it was doing that yesterday, I apologize, but I wasn't getting a notification. Like at least OBS is like you're disconnecting. So bear with us. If it keeps happening, I'll restart the application live in like 5 minutes. Let me close that. In front of that notification.
Like, yeah, there are man
Like, where's
tabs
that?
up there, my guy.
But anyways, so we're going to talk about some cool things today with our special guest. And let's talk about last night's tournament.
Yeah.
So you came to the first Super Saturdays, right?
Yes.
Okay. And were you in like quarterfinals, right?
I placed 9th.
Okay.
Like
okay.
both times I came, I placed 9th in both.
And that was when Shaq Zam and Shady were here. Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
So last night, it was crazy because all of the people that we had that week, right, they didn't come back last week. And there was a new crowd of people. We had the Arm, and we had Great Fernman. And now this week, or last night, they all came back. And the competition was stacked. It was awesome. Like,
Right.
So it was a really cool top 8, and the matches were great. So if you get a chance to go watch the stream, go check it out. It was a good stream. Aaron, what was your experience at the tournament last night?
Okay, so if anyone knows, like, I'm really critical of myself when I lose, right?
Oh, yes.
Even even when I'm like, I know, like, I probably will, right? So like last night, like I said before, I had a little cold, right? I hadn't practiced since last week. I also forgot my sunglasses. Right, so I wear these a lot, right? And I wear them in tournaments a lot. And at first it was just for the aesthetic, but then it was just like,
It became his lucky underwear.
yeah,
basically.
yeah. So, but no, I think Fighters is really fun. I love playing it with other people. I love seeing how different types of players from different types of games approach the game. So like, anime players have like these like really long, like cool block strings, and like maybe like Marvel players, like as soon as they hit you, right, you die, right? But yeah, so like the Arm got first place last night. Pretty well known BlazBlue player, I believe he plays Rachel, and I've seen his Rachel in BlazBlue, and absolutely decimating. But since Fighters was made by like the same people who made BlazBlue and Guilty Gear, I feel like a lot of the skill that he had kind of carries over to Fighters,
Right.
right? And that's like just like a thing that I think a lot of people do subconsciously, right? Like they'll play, let's say, let me think. What are two games that are pretty similar? I don't know. They'll like start in Street Fighter, right? And then like, well, yeah, this kind of be for everyone. 'Cause Street Fighter is like a pretty like good like beginner fighting game to get into. And then like every 2D fighting game after that, it's like, okay, this isn't exactly a Hadouken. It's more like a full screen beam, but still I have to neutral jump it or jump over it, right? It's still not a good idea, quote unquote, to jump in the air, right? Typically in a lot of 2D fighting games, like a lot of the ideas like carry over, right? So I feel like the ARM has successfully done that with fighters because he's gotten first last week and he got first the week before that.
Right.
But yeah, like Ryan said, there's been a lot of competition showing up.
I mean that grand finals with him and Shaq Sam was nuts.
It's crazy.
Like it was awesome though. So, but yeah, so
Yeah. But yeah, that
So
was
you mentioned Marvel players try to TOD you, anime players want to do long block strings.
Yeah.
Skullgirls players do in Dragon Ball Fighters. What do you do?
what a Skullgirls players do.
yeah, Aaron, tell us. Please inform us, Mr. Skullgirls player.
I think Skullgirls players, they kind of do the same thing anime players do, but like a little bit more meticulously, right? Because in Skullgirls, you don't want to do block strings. You want to hit them, right? Also, like there's push blocking in Skullgirls, right? Like in anime games, you'll see stuff like faultless defense or instant blocking, right? You don't have traditional push blocking, right? In Skullgirls, you don't need to spend a resource to get your opponent off you on defense. Some you can, but you don't have to, right? So if you push block in the right at the right moment in your opponent's block string, or if you just push block at the beginning, like you get push block, you have to start your pressure all over. Skullgirls players do stuff like the run up low, stop, do a high, stop, some jabs, stop, right? Because they don't want to do full block strings, right? So I see like what Divas does with Divas plays TN, right?
Oh.
So he'll get in, he'll do like standing light, M, and he'll just wait and see what you're gonna do, right? An anime player will do standing light, M, H, assist, standing light, M, H, assist 2, standing light, M, right? Like they don't care, right? But like, yeah, I feel like Skullgirls players like they want to like make you like trip, right? And then it's like, okay, you just press something, you're not blocking anymore, now I'm gonna hit you, right? But yeah, to answer your
Wow,
question,
just tell everyone my secrets. Holy crap.
I mean, if they fight you, they gonna see it anyway. It's your job to adapt. All your gameplay on our archives, watch you anyway.
You know, to be honest, I don't even know how I did in the tournament yesterday. Does anyone know? I don't know.
I think you got 6.
I got sixth.
I mean,
Oh.
we could
No, I didn't.
pull up
Don't
the
lie to
bracket.
me.
I got- So you
That's
did.
pretty good.
I still have it pulled up from last night. You were in top 6, so that's technically. Let's see. You got 2-1 by Great Fernman, so that's. Let's see. Yeah, it's. I think that's 5th, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of people.
Yeah, it's close.
Huh. Oh, dang.
Yeah, there you go.
That's dope.
Okay.
That's funny because I was trying not to.
But yeah.
Anyway, go on.
no, I was done. I was just saying, like, I mean,
Oh.
I have yet to like really like analyze what like NRS players do or like what Smash players do, right? But like, when it comes to anime players and like Street Fighter players and stuff, it's really cool to see how they approach like this really surprisingly simple game with like different mindsets, and it looks like
See
fantastic.
that's
I love
what
it. Yeah.
that's like the biggest complaint that I heard a bunch of naysayers before the game came out. People were like, "Oh, this game's gonna be too easy. It's not gonna be fun." And I was just like I had a friend who said that, and I was like, "What do you mean it's gonna be too easy? Like, okay, please come out to a tournament and prove to me
Yeah.
that you will be better than everybody."
Yeah.
You're right. You have no right to shame this game, right?
Yeah.
Because he's like, "Oh, well, there's auto combos and all this stuff." And, well,
It's like, and
Okay,
what
okay.
about?
So what I
Doesn't
like to
make the
say,
game bad.
yeah.
what I like to say on that is that a fighting game being easy doesn't like actually like make a fighting game bad.
Yeah.
What makes a fighting game bad, in my opinion, is when there's too many random factors. Where like you could like have someone who is a veteran at the fighting game lose to someone who just picked it up in 5 minutes because random factors happen.
So,
Hmm.
one of the things that I'm learning in school as a game design major is that random factors in video games altogether are not fun, right? Like it's doesn't make the game interesting at all. It's lacking depth with the more random factors you add to a game, and overall it's a bad design choice. So
This is why
we're
people hate
taught
Mario Party.
not to use as little random factors as possible. Unless it's like
Mario Party.
yeah.
Well, so then in your expert opinion, then how do you feel about Danger Time?
About Danger Time?
Yeah.
Oh, and Guilty Gear?
Yeah.
So, the first time I seen that, I was just like, I had to have.
Sorry about your ears.
I
folks.
had to
laugh
have
loud.
Aaron explain it to me, right? Could you explain it?
Okay,
real
okay, okay. So whenever I explain Danger Time, I die laughing, right? Because almost every Guilty Gear player I know hates it, right? And, when I see it happen, they'll stop and they'll stop fighting until it's over. So for those who don't know, Danger Time is, to my knowledge, it's something random that happens on clashes, right? So let's say you press standing,
Punch.
standing punch, and they press standing slash, and it clashes, right? So that can happen with any two attacks that meet, right? But neither of you gets hit. Danger Time happens on a random counter whenever a clash happens, and the game will stop and it'll go 3, 2, 1, go, right? And the screen will become dark. There'll be danger signs on the top and bottom, and for that whole time, every single hit, whether you were blocking or pressing something or not, is a fatal counter, right? And it slows down time every time you get hit. So for characters like Slayer, who regularly get high damage, he is very dangerous in Danger Time, right? He'll hit you and you die in 3 hits.
Wow.
Not even over exaggerating, right?
Oh yeah.
So
and it's
yeah.
not like you can you can't Can you set that as one of your goals to trigger Danger Time?
it's
No,
it's random.
completely random.
If you want to do it, you can kind of be I'm gonna stand right where my opponent
Right,
wants
because
to use
your
a
goal
specific
would
normal,
to be
yeah.
to activate
and try to
try
clash with them,
activate
yeah.
it. Okay.
But clashes usually happen on accident. I've never seen people try to go for them on purpose. I
I
don't even know
the,
how you would
the
do
first
that.
time I had that happen to me, I was completely turned off, and I was just like, "What is this? Why is this here?" So let me ask you this then: How often does that happen in matches and tournaments?
Well, from what I understand that I don't really play Guilty Gear myself, but everyone who plays Guilty Gear that I associate with, they've told me that every time there's a patch for the new Guilty Gear game, the chance to interact with Danger Time is more frequent. It has a
Oh
higher
my
That's what I was
percentage.
talking about.
Every
I think it should be okay. I'm not okay. I was gonna say 40%, but I'm not gonna be crazy. I think
It's happening every
I
30 seconds.
okay. I think it should be at least 10. Because Guilty Gear is an explosive game. It's an explosive. Did you know there's a mechanic where if you block too much, you have a little meter, right? And as you block, it fills up. When it gets to the top, when you get hit, the more that meter is up, the more damage you take when you finally get hit, right? So Guilty Gear,
risk gauge.
yeah. So but yeah, Guilty Gear has a lot of defensive options faultless defense and blocking and stuff like that. But also it's the game doesn't want you to run away. The game wants you to get hit, right? Or wants you to get the hit or die trying, right? I think Danger Time, I think it perfectly fits into that, right? If you don't want to get Danger Timed, right? Space your normals better, right? Don't clash with the opponent, and it won't happen. It's not it just happens randomly. There's a condition that you have to meet for it to happen. Yeah.
So one of the things we are taught as well is that it doesn't we're told not to use as many random mechanics as possible.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you can't utilize a random mechanic. It just depends on the way you go about it.
Yeah.
So in this situation, it might be a plausible design decision, but I don't know. I haven't experienced it enough in my gameplay
to complain about it
to
too
really
much.
no. But then again, I don't play competitive Guilty
Yeah.
Gear. I like it, and at one point I was trying to learn it, but at this point in time, I haven't really dedicated
Yeah.
enough time to be good at it. So I guess I'd have to really play it, and I honestly we should get a Guilty Gear player on here and see like
And
their
so,
perspective on
yeah,
that.
because it's funny because it's like whenever it does happen, the players will sometimes they'll just sit there and they'll just wait until it's over. Because I think it's about 5, maybe 6 seconds. I think the time varies too, but like they'll just sit there and wait it out because they're just like I don't want to do it. But personally, if Danger Time happens and you just sit there, I'm going in. I'm gonna get this 80% 3-hit combo, and I'm gonna get it if you don't stop me. Right? So like, I don't know. I like it, but I don't.
Okay,
yeah,
so
I
what
don't-
so
yeah.
what happens in grand finals though? And Danger Time actually just happens, and that's literally the deciding factor
that's how
of
it
the
ends.
game. And that's like the other person should have had like they had the upper hand the whole time. They should have won. They came back because of
Danger Time.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember. I don't remember who it was, but I remember watching a tournament with FAB. He's probably not even probably. He is the best Potemkin player in the world,
Yeah.
and like he was fighting a Zato. And if anyone knows anything about that matchup, it is pretty much it might as well be considered 10-0 in Zato's favor, right? But at round start, they clashed. Like as soon as like said fight, they clashed. Danger time happened, and FAB got one hit, and Zato died.
Wow.
One hit from full health. Died.
You see?
That's why I don't even bother with it. I
Yeah.
just-
Yeah. So yeah.
So,
So
have
like.
you played Guilty Gear? Are you
The last time I played Guilty Gear was PlayStation 2.
okay? So like what is that? XX, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, so like in Smash terms, like let's say you playing Brawl again, like so say like on a random turn on a random time where someone trips, right?
Mhm.
Both players go up to like 300% for like 5 seconds. That's Danger Time.
Oh yeah. The most annoying time to play any game. You're like, you move, no, you move. Like, no, I'm gonna just sit here. All right.
It's like I run up and throw you.
But while we're on the topic of anime games, one of the other things we were going to talk about is Under Night In-Birth,
Yes.
EXE,
Goodness.
Late,
Mhm.
ST. I just like calling it Super Turbo. That's what the ST stands for anyone who doesn't know. Just call it Super Turbo, guys. Don't strain your
Is
brains.
that actually? No, it's not.
No, it's
no way.
not.
I was
Yes.
like, that's
Okay,
not what it is.
so
That's not what it is.
The weird anime name. It's like it's Under Night In-Birth.
Can
Like,
you explain to me why it's called that? 'Cause
Okay.
Ever since I was first introduced to Under Night, I'm just like, why is this so long?
okay, so names like Blaze Blue Central Fiction, right? To understand why it's called Central Fiction, you have to play
But
through, like the
that
whole
makes a little bit
story.
more sense. Under Night's just like a bunch of like they Under Night In Birth, ST, Late, EXE, and I'm just like
Unreal
what?
Black Things. That's part of the title. Unreal Black Things in all caps.
I didn't even know that.
But like, yeah, late and then like ist, like in parentheses at the end. So like this is like it's like the version I guess that they like wanted out in the first place, and it's late, but it's the latest version.
Latest.
It's-
Latest.
I don't know. Like,
At any rate.
somebody's gonna have to like come and explain. From the Under Night
Developers of Under Night, if you're listening, please come on the podcast and
Yeah,
defend yourself.
in births are like a term in the story, and Under Night is like, I don't know. Just play. You got to play the story to understand. But everyone just calls it Unist for short. So there you go.
Have you had a chance to play it or see it at all?
I haven't actually.
No.
No.
They had I think they had the English version earlier
Yeah,
at Frosty.
So that was the thing.
But the English version just came out too.
The English version just came out like the 9th, I want to say, of February.
Hmm.
So if you're not one of those people who have Japanese accounts and already been playing the game for months, you can get it now. It's $50, and honestly, I think it's a really good game. And I like to call it basically anime Street Fighter because, like, so when everyone thinks about anime games, it's always like you have every character has an air
Okay,
dash.
so this is good then. How can we compare this to Street Fighter? Coming from a
Yeah.
player who is invested in Street Fighter and a player who's playing Under Night, explain. I want to know, and I'm sure he's dying to know. How can you compare
Caught my
that
attention. Yeah.
to Street Fighter?
Ooh,
All right.
Is there a cami function?
When everyone thinks about anime games, it's pretty much always like every character has like an air dash and everyone's moving and doing all crazy like sorts of stuff, right? Under Night is way more tamed. It's actually way more ground based, just like Street Fighter.
Hmm.
Jumping is still bad because you can't block in the air in this game unless it's certain things. If you're blocking a projectile, you can block that in the air. All right. If someone jumps in the air at you, you can block it as well, depending on if it's like air blockable or not. And
Right.
if it's not air blockable, you gotta do like a certain kind of like shield thing to block it. If you're in the air and your opponent is on the ground, you are getting anti-aired.
Yeah.
There is nothing you can do to stop them from hitting you. Okay, so in that regard, it's pretty much like Street Fighter. It forces everyone to be on the ground and like play a ground game.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but the other thing to understand that makes it more anime and not Street Fighter is the fact that everyone in that game has, not everyone, but most characters in that game have gigantic normals. All right, or special attacks of some kind, right? You have Yuzuriha. She doesn't have big normals really, but like she has special moves in the stance, or she does these sword slashes that go almost full screen.
Mm.
So like, as long as she's in her stance, she's a threat to you.
Yeah.
Okay, right? And on top of that, she has teleports, so she's hard to
Mm.
catch. And then, but if you catch her, her normals like her light is not that slow, but like doesn't really have big range. Her normals that do have big range, they're slow or they have wonky hitboxes on them. So she's generally not that strong up close.
Mhm.
I mean, if you're pressuring her, she's also one of the few characters in the game who doesn't have a DP. So yeah, she definitely like suffers from like people getting in. But man, is it hard to get in?
Man,
Okay.
pretty much is Street Fighter then. In that
Yeah.
case,
Yeah.
except nowadays everybody has like a invincible factor now just added to them out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, not every character has a DP, but every character does have a mechanic that you can use called Veil Off, which is pretty much you explode and it's invincible. It's pretty much what you do. You explode.
So one of the things I want to know is how do you think it's gonna do in the fighting game community as an esport? Like, do you think it's going to be as big as Guilty Gear and Blaze Blue? Do you think that it has the power to come up as one of the big anime fighting games? I mean, right now Fighters is like top dog,
Right.
and then you got Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue, and
All right. So two things, maybe three things. I'm gonna go with two. All right. Actually,
Got an hour and a half.
three.
Here.
All right.
You good?
So it is not made by Arxis. It's published by Arxis.
and then it's what is it, bread?
Yeah, French bread.
French bread. Okay, there you
Yeah,
go.
it's
I
made
knew
by.
I knew there was some bread.
Bread and coconut.
All right. So it's not like something that's like has like a big like marketing towards it. So like a lot of people don't even know what it is. Did you even know what I asked you earlier?
No.
You're like, what's Under Night,
Right.
right? No one knows what Under Night is. So there's that.
Okay, so you've never seen it?
I've never seen it.
Okay, all right. We're gonna
Okay.
play the trailer. And by the way, last time we watched the trailer, nobody talked. So like,
No,
we could talk.
That's the intro. The intro.
Huh? What
The intro.
do you mean that's?
We
it?
watched the intro.
Oh,
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Wait, are you talking about at
Yeah.
the place
At the
or?
house. Yeah.
Oh, no, he's talking about the Blanca trailer
The
when we
Blanca
were doing the
trailer.
No,
podcast.
yeah, I'm saying last week
Oh,
we watched
yeah.
it on the stream.
Oh,
and nobody
okay,
talked.
okay.
I was like, what do you mean the intro? I was like, I didn't
I
want
thought
we
you
didn't
took-
watch an intro.
Yeah. Okay, never mind.
But anyways, continue on. I'm gonna pull up the.
Yeah.
Is there an English trailer?
No.
No?
Maybe? I don't know. I just knew the game came out and I bought it.
Yeah.
Because I played the previous version back when it was on PS3.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed it. I didn't really stick with it though because there wasn't a character I felt like I could play or I wanted to play. But now there is.
Right.
Now I'm into this game.
Okay, so this is it. 2 weeks ago. Ooh. That was
Ooh,
really
it's
loud.
got a launch trailer.
Proud boys.
Apologize about that.
But
yeah, go
But yeah,
ahead.
so
I'll pull it up
it's
now.
not marketed. It's not like one of those big titles you always hear about. So like most people don't even know what it is.
Mhm.
And then on top of that, it came out like after Fighters, like around the time Fighters is coming out or has came
Oh.
out, and around something else is coming out too. Is really there. I really don't know. But
Blaze Blue Cross-Side Battle.
let's just say that
Yeah,
there's
I
are
do.
bigger titles that are coming out that have caught people's attention, and like this game is coming out in between all that, so
Mhm.
that still pulls from like other people, like for people not knowing what it is, not being able to like be exposed to it, unless it's just pretty much just word of mouth at this point.
Right.
I think it does have a fairly big community as it is right now. I think it's bigger than Skullgirls. Skullgirls, I want to say we have like somewhere between 150 and 200 people that go out to tournaments anyway.
Right.
Under Night has somewhere higher than that.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's not Street Fighter big, and it's definitely not Dragon Ball Z big. I can tell you that much.
I think most of the marketing for like those type of games and stuff has to come from the community. You know, you
Yeah.
guys got to like push those titles out more. 'Cause this is my first time hearing about it. I
Hearing
never heard about
yeah,
it.
it's like
But like you said, it was around the whole hoopla with fighters.
Yeah.
You know, and I watch Dragon Ball Z from time to time. So just hearing the name Dragon Ball catches my attention, and as a consumer, my mind's already made up.
yeah.
Right.
Mention another game, I'm like, what's that?
What's
And
that? That's
then I
not.
take-
That's not.
What
Dragon
is
Ball
that?
Z.
And also understand like there's been several iterations of the game, and there's only been 2
You
versions.
say, how long has it been out? Like the earlier
Oh,
versions, because the
God.
first one came out on PlayStation 3. That's a last generation.
No, that wasn't even the
console.
first one. That's like number 5, dude.
What?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes. So there's been so many versions of the game. Like there was a time where it was just called Under Night, and then from there they added more names to
Okay,
it.
so that's why there's all these names. All right,
No.
let's watch the English launch trailer. Everybody, check it out. For those of you who don't know Under Night, shout out to Under Night. Check it out. It is out, and it's from what I've seen, it looks pretty awesome. And when I watched Top 8 at Frosty, I was having a blast. Like it was great. So we'll check it out here, and then we'll get you guys' opinion on it.
Oh, you picked a good trailer.
This is just a trailer. I wonder if they're gonna show any fighting.
Can we also like show like one of the openings, because they have really sick openings. But yeah, good cast. See, obviously I guess this wouldn't mean too much to anyone. 'Cause, like, all right, who are all these characters, right? You know, they don't really have a history with them. Like, they're not Street Fighter characters. They're not like, oh, and it says right there the makers of Melty Blood. How many of you have heard of Melty Blood? You heard of Melty Blood?
What?
Melty Blood?
Melty Blood, I've seen. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I did watch a little bit of Top 8 at Frosty for that too. And dude, the community for that game is really hype. Like they were freaking out. And usually, you know, the loudest crowds at a fighting game tournament are like Marvel, Skullgirls, freaking, you know. But Melty Blood was popping off.
I recall seeing something like this at Frosty, and everybody was like, just screaming
Yeah.
out of their seats. And I'm like, what is that about?
Yeah. So it's honestly, it's really cool. Like,
But like, yeah, like I said, like Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, like for like 3 seconds ago. But like, a lot of characters.
EXE late
Yeah.
ST.
Super
Turbo.
Ist. Yeah, but yeah, a lot of characters from Under Night are gonna be in Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. A game from 4 games, so it'll have Blaze Blue characters.
Mm-hmm.
It'll have Under Night characters. It'll have
Oh, no.
characters from the Persona fighting game series.
Okay.
And it'll have new characters. I don't know if you know about the internet anime Ruby, RWBY.
I heard about that.
Yeah, so it's gonna have characters from that anime as
Mhm.
fighting game characters. So like new fighting styles, right?
Yeah.
So like, it's at least popular enough for Arc System Works to be like, hey, come play with our Blaze Blue and Persona characters, right? Right. But yeah, it's gonna be I don't know. It's gonna be really cool.
What caught my eyes when it said PlayStation Vita, I was like,
What?
Excuse me.
what?
But yeah, that's a good point you made. Like, I forgot about that. Yeah, so Under Night characters are in the new Blaze Blue game Cross Tag Battle. So hopefully that also helps people
Bring
like,
some
hey,
exposure.
I like
Mhm.
these characters in this Blaze Blue game. Let me actually go play the game they're from.
Right.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
I want Persona to be alive again too. Play Persona, please. It's the only game I can play Resay in. But,
That's what like hypes the game up too, when you're like bringing people from different
So
universes and stuff. Yeah.
so let's talk about this My Little Pony game.
Oh.
Have you heard anything about this?
Is it the fighter one, right?
Yeah.
I saw
fighting.
images of it. I'm like, is that Rainbow Dash?
Okay. All right. So the story of Okay,
Please explain.
so the name of the game is them's fighting herds, right?
Mm.
So herds isn't like a herd of animals or whatever,
Yeah.
right? I'm like trying to like compose myself to
Hey,
tell the story.
pull up your chat
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Twitch chat.
Yeah.
By the way.
But so the people who made the game, originally it started off as like a My Little Pony fighting game, like
Yeah.
fan game, right? And it got shut down by Hasbro for like obvious reasons, right?
I have to
Yeah.
look this up.
And then the name of the team who made it was Main Six, right? And it actually relates to Skullgirls, right? So when Skullgirls had a fundraiser, a drive to include another character called Squiggly, right? And it went so well that we actually raised enough money to add like 5 more characters after that and like more stages or whatever, right? But one of the goals was if we raise this much money, we'll share our engine, or like the Z engine, as it's called. The lead programmer made his own engine for Skullgirls, calls it the Z engine. He said, we'll give the Z engine to Main 6 so they can make this game. And we did, and they were like, okay, here you go, right? And it's just now coming out. I think it came out like 3 days ago or something, right? But to my knowledge, the game has 6 characters. So it's not like too big or anything, but whoa. but yeah.
Are you okay?
So no, I'm good. Yeah,
Are
I
you
just
good?
saw something, saw something off stream. Okay. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Continue.
But
Refrigerator was running.
but yeah, them's fighting herds is a surprisingly solid game. And it's sharing the same engine is one of my favorite fighting games of all time. Probably gonna like play it, give it a roll. But every Skullgirls player who has been playing it is having a really good time with it. If you look on Twitter, look
Yeah.
on like Skullgirls players' Twitter, they coming up with tech and stuff, and they're like, "Yo, this game is fun. Like, come play this game, right?" But yeah, here's the trailer. The trailer for you.
It
Presented
looks
by-
fun to play.
Okay, the art style is pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
But yeah, like just looking at the way combos work, it actually does remind me heavily of Skullgirls.
No, it definitely does. Like right away, I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
This,
Ooh.
Yeah, look at this.
But yeah,
yo,
game
this
is
is
out
this
on
is gonna
Steam.
be at Evo next year.
The game is out on Steam and it's $15.
$12 if you own Skullgirls.
11
Look at that! Look at that
11 something.
tutorial though. You see that? They have a
Yeah.
an actual tutorial. Let's go.
Other thing is, if you own certain fighting games on Steam, you'll get extra costume. If you own Skullgirls, you'll get Skullgirls costumes. BlazBlue, you get BlazBlue costumes in here. So yeah.
But yeah, I have a friend who's been playing it, and he absolutely loves it. He's been like being like, yeah, you gotta buy this. This is like Skullgirls. I'm like, all right, fine. Like,
All right, fine.
all right. But
Well, when you buy it, let me know because
you want to play?
I want to try it.
I want to give it a whirl.
Give it a shot.
It's
See
only
what
on
it's all
Steam?
about.
It's only on Steam.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. But I mean,
For $12.
looks fun.
So
Looks really
It
fun.
really does.
that's not a bad price for a fighting game that just something like fun like that. And
Yeah, it has like a Rocky style story where they're just like, oh no, we can't make our game now, and like I think the way they revived to make it start happening again, I think one of the artists or one of the people who worked on My Little Pony, right, came to them and they were just like,
Oscouts.
Do you wanna-
Jackson says I call the llama. That's my name.
Llama,
You got the chat pulled up.
Paprika, yeah, yeah, but
Hello, everybody in the chat. Sorry, we've been.
yeah, they came back and she was like, hey, do you want to make the game, but like with like original characters, right? Because I have some ideas. right? So if you like watch the trailer, like actually I think only one of the characters was like an actual horse,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, no one's like actually from the show, so it's not a My Little Pony fighting game anymore. That's how it started out, but yeah, to avoid being
Hello, Link
shot
Winchester.
by Hasbro again.
What's up?
Yeah.
What's up? I'm
So,
just saying hi.
I think it's like one of those games like if you lose, it doesn't matter. You're just having fun with it.
yeah,
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it looks like a fun party game. Especially like,
party game.
yeah, man, get together with
gang
some
beef.
friends.
Oh yeah. It reminds me so much of Smash Brothers. Shots fired, by the way.
Oh not. Oh we got a Smash player here too. These without fear. I think Smash is a fighting game.
So last
now.
week,
I think it
you
is.
were tuning in, but we went on a little bit of a tangent about the whole Bayonetta thing. I don't know if you were listening, but they were talking about how, half the community wants her to be banned because of, the placings right now and everything. And
Oh, we have a Smash player here. That's right. Okay, so
oh boy,
your expert Smash opinion
expert Smash.
is Bayonetta ban-worthy?
I believe so.
Why?
Because the thing about with her combo setup and stuff like that, a lot of her setups are virtually, unless you're really good with timing, it's impossible to stop.
But can.
You can, but I think just watching people like Solemn, play her and other pro players who use Bayonetta and they see what they're doing as far as like with the setups, the combos and the recovery. I think they get intimidated when they hear the name Bayonetta in the Smash tournament. And I got knocked out of a tournament by a Bayonetta player, and I'm like, this is virtually impossible. How she takes me from like the stage to the air, and there's no way I can like just break out of it. And the moment I fall,
Yeah.
she can either witch time or she
you're
can summon a
laughing
demon.
like this is so.
And I'm like,
Tell us what's so funny.
No, no, it's not like okay. So I've heard like a lot of stories about this. And I feel like when we get like a bunch of like Smash players in the room, it would be like a
Oh
help
my
group.
God.
Because they're just like it's like I too have been 0 to death by Bayonetta at the beginning of my stock, and like everyone else in the circle's just like, thank you for sharing
Right.
your story. But like
I've heard a couple times though, like that while she's comboing, they're not true combos. It's just that you can SDI. It's just that she reads it correctly, just like Smash, right?
Right.
She gets to like play.
She's
Like,
like
she gets to combo you
Abigail.
okay, yeah, so
says,
okay,
But-
okay.
all right, so here we go.
But
right?
it's way harder to do versus her than like other
but
characters.
these people who actually spend time with her, and they invite their friends over, like, hey, do this real quick, and they practice that. So, especially like as a Mario main in Smash, like I have a tendency to be repetitive from time to time, depending on what I want to go for, and I
Right.
get caught up in it all the time. So, that's my thing. But Meta Knight is another person that I feel to stay on the bandwagon as
And
well.
the SDI war begins.
Okay, so Anorak88 in the chat says she's like Abigail. Okay, so the rage that's in sights in her community, it's fine, right? But if in case you've been like in character archetype, it's like Abigail's big and slow and kind of easy to read. So it's like, but Bayonetta, to my, I'm not a Smash player. We have a Smash player here. But like, correct me if I'm wrong. But it looks like she's just slippery and annoying, right? And then like Bat Within, right? Like talk about that, right? Even if you hit her, sometimes like it doesn't even matter because she doesn't
Right.
get she
doesn't
takes
take-
half the damage,
Right.
but she doesn't get knocked back. So you're and Smash like it's all about getting the hit, right?
Exactly.
And like knocking. So it's like, what is this? But like, I don't know. I'm kind of biased because I love the Bayonetta games. So when she was announced, I was like, yes, let's go, right? And I was kind of worried that they were gonna water down what Bayonetta was all about. Because in the game, she is about like comboing the opponent, just like humiliating them, right? And they just kept it in Smash. So I was like, yay, right? But I didn't think it was gonna be this bad. And then they nerfed her to the ground, right? People thought she was unplayable. And look, here she is getting like, what's she getting Frostbite? Second, third, and fourth. Right? So like, I'm like dying because
No way.
she's kind of like, I don't know, she's like keeping everyone on the edge, right? She's like teasing everyone, right? It's like, I'm broken, but I ain't winning anything. I'm not
Yeah.
winning
Right.
first place, so y'all
And
gotta
then all
hold
of a
that.
sudden,
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure like
reminds-
Meta Knight won like stuff when Brawl was.
Oh,
had
yeah.
some.
Oh yeah.
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 Oh yeah.
He was very
Yeah.
good
So
point.
yeah. But Bayonetta's like, I kind of feel like Bayonetta fans are doing it on purpose. Like, everybody's like, hey,
Right.
look, first place,
There's a team
I'll
of 'em.
split the money with you. Yeah, just get second place. They don't want our character back.
Like you're good.
But like
Okay, so what was the Smash tournament where they were first, second, third, and fourth?
Frostbite.
Frostbite. All right. Anybody who was at Frostbite, please come on the podcast and talk about Bayonetta.
But what I want to add to that really is like that reminds me of like things where like in Marvel 3 people complained about Zero for like the first couple years of that, saying like, oh, Zero is super broken, Zero is the best character in the game, but he wasn't winning any majors. He didn't win a major until like Flocker, and I don't know what Evo that was. That 2012 or 2013. Like I don't even remember. But yeah, Flocker was like the first Zero to win something, right? But you know, around that time, people actually stopped giving the character so much hate. I think around that time, everyone was like on the Virgil and Morgan bandwagon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the other one is what was it? Lost my train of thought. I can do this, guys. Believe in me.
What's the Gurren Lagann statement? The believe in. I don't even know. Jackson taunts
All right.
that all the time.
So the other thing was Blaze Blue Chrono Phantasma when that game first came out, and how Kokonoe came out and she was clearly busted. And I remember this one tournament. I don't even remember what tournament it was, but there was one tournament where like there was this top 16. There was like at least 8 Kokonoe players, and none of them made top 8. It was so like.
Believe in the me that believes in you. There you go. There it is.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Oh my god.
So my whole thing is like.
Oh, and
characters
thanks
may
for
be
tuning in, Link Winchester. Sorry you have to go to work.
But
I
characters may
appreciate
be
you
quote unquote
checking us out.
broken.
Yep.
But unless they are winning majors, I don't think there's a reason to ban them. Because if people are playing broken characters, that gives you plenty of time to plenty of opportunities to like get practice in the matchup, understand what people want to be doing with those characters, understand the frauds, the people who actually play the character just to play the character, right? And you know, that makes that broken character not as broken because everyone in the community is learning the matchup because they're scared. Okay.
Like
So,
even
like-
in Tekken, you
like-
know, with Geese, you know, everybody was saying Geese was broken.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
remember when he came out, and a lot of people were that was a big complaint.
Give in to your fears. I love Geese Howling.
I still don't see anybody in the tournament play with Geese. Everybody's just sticking to their original characters. So
Yeah. But that's like a thing with like, and I said this before, but like people who play top tier characters, but like their characters just happen to be top tier, right? So say you like Nine the Phantom in Blaze Blue, right?
Guilty.
So Divas, right? So you just like the character, but they just happen to be top tier. Don't feel bad for playing your character, right? Your character,
Not at all. Play your
Yeah.
character with pride.
just like every other character in the game, has their weaknesses and has their strengths. They may have more strengths and less weaknesses than your average character, but they still have weaknesses, right? Like, you know, no character is invincible, no character is unbeatable, right? Because if they were, you know, you pick the character and then it wouldn't even go into the game. It'd just say KO, and then, like, you win for picking a character, right? So just the fact that you have time between round 1 start and the KO flash means that you have had chances to lose with that character, right? So don't feel bad for playing your character. Now, if you're one of those people who play the character only because they're top tier, you're fine too. You're
How
okay
do you
too.
Aventar? Yeah. Hiyo. I can't even say your name, but what's up?
What's the next topic?
Avatar Yaya.
Okay, there
Yeah.
you go.
So what's that next topic you got for us? What is that? Soul Calibur 6
So
release?
the release of Soul Calibur
Let's
6.
talk about
Yeah.
Soul Calibur. Where are my Soul Calibur fans at? I know
Yeah.
there's people in the chat. but-
Anyone play Soul Calibur in the chat? Yeah, it's. I believe like the strongest point of the release was the Ivy.
Two.
The Ivy.
Oh! I thought
Oh,
you meant,
you-
I
the
thought you meant
strongest
of the
game.
entire
The str-
series. I was like,
Yeah.
isn't it Soul
Yeah,
Calibur 2,
that's-
right?
Yeah, it's
No.
definitely 2.
You always do this. You're like, the strongest point is like the Ivy release. Like, never say Zasalamel. Like, what's wrong with you? Do you have a problem with black people, Aaron?
What? Okay, first of all,
Bro,
first of,
oh my god.
first of all,
well, okay.
Be careful, guys.
look at me.
Please.
First of all, I never talk about Soul Calibur. So I don't even know why you're saying that. Second of all, I don't know.
No, he's lying, dude. He has Soul Calibur posters all over his room.
Oh my god. Okay, I just heard more about Ivy than anyone else, right? Because I don't know. She's just like such like a dynamic character that
Did her breast get bigger again?
straight to the point. I see. I don't know, maybe, but like just kind of like Bayonetta, right? So like we're gonna backtrack just a little bit here. But yeah, Bayonetta 2 was funded by Nintendo, right? And a lot of people were afraid that they weren't gonna let Platinum Games do their thing, so to say, and they were just like, no. You do whatever you want, right? Bayonetta 2 actually ended up being more like gory or whatever than Bayonetta 1,
Yeah.
right? More suggestive or whatever, right? So like when Ivy is like coming out today, right? So and she's like still like the dominatrix whip,
Yeah.
right? A lot of people were excited, right? That's why my strong point is Ivy. I think Zasalamel is really cool. He's actually one of my favorite characters in the whole series.
So let's watch this reveal trailer real fast. Because I haven't watched it yet. This will be my first time I've been looking. So
I remember when it came out, and I was looking at her skill set. Like she will continue to be a problem.
Oh, wait, do you play Soul Calibur? You play Soul Calibur?
Last time I played Soul Calibur, that's when like on was the DLC.
Oh, 2?
Yeah.
I mean, I never got into this series. I tried 3, and I didn't like it. And then 5, I saw like competitive 5. I was like, well, Zasalamel's not in it, so I don't care. So
I'm not too fond of like like 3D games in general. Like I can play them, I just don't prefer them.
right.
You can like sidestep all day.
But this looks extremely nifty.
yeah, there's some people that talk about that, and they're just like, I can only play 2D fighters, you know. Like even Aaron, you're like that. You don't like 3D fighters. What's your deal with 3D fighters?
I don't know. I mean,
cause like you.
No,
I remember when Tekken first came out. You wanted to get into it, and then you tried and just kind of fell off. And maybe that's because there's such a huge skill gap.
no, I like them. I'm just bad at them. Right? No, yeah. Don't confuse that. I don't hate 3D fighters at all. I think they're actually one of the most respectable types of competitive gaming you can do. But yeah, I'm just bad at them.
Look how nice the graphics, the animations, beautiful.
Hey, this is why you should
Pull
talk
them
about
right
this
in.
character. Look at this character. This character's amazing. You should worship him.
You should worship him. She's literally a god.
One hit, a quitter.
I shall continue with my quest.
But as far as like
This
it's
game's
like
gonna be hype. Like I really hope they do a good job with this. 'Cause,
it's like 2D games or 2D fighting games and 3D fighting games are so different from each other. Like one of the things you can do, like if you get competitive at fighting games and you pick like Street Fighter Up or Guilty Gear or anything like that, you play that game a lot, right? To the point where you're going to tournaments, getting top 8s and stuff. Then you pick up another game. It's a lot easier this time, right? Because you're used to playing 2D fighting games. Try to do that. You try to like go from 2D to 3D. And you're like, what am I doing? What is happening? I don't understand the world anymore. Right? Because like one of the things like when I was trying to learn Tekken, I was looking up like guides and stuff and like how understanding like how stuff is supposed to work in the game. You know what they say? Know what they call like the startup of a move that like hits you? Know those frames? They call that impact frames. They don't even call it like startup, active frames, recovery frames. They don't use that. They say impact frames and whatever heck else they say now.
That feels
Like
what you should call the active frames.
like
To make it more
Not the
dramatic
startup
or something.
phase.
like when I was looking at stuff and they're like, oh yeah, this is 10i, and I was like, 10. What's 10i? It's different. It's vastly different.
Yes,
and then
very much so.
as far as like Tekken is concerned, 'cause that's the only 3D fighting game I've like put time into. Pretty much, that game is. So last week I talked about like the big differences between certain 2D fighting games. You have the ones that are focused on more of the characters and like the characters' diversity, and like that makes the players like learn more about their character, playing their character super well, playing their characters against other characters and learning matchups and all that stuff. But then you got the games more like KOF, where it's more mechanically based
Right.
and less about learning the matchups and more about mastering the mechanics of the game.
Hmm.
So Tekken is both. So it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like characters in 3D fighting games, like when they brought Akuma into Tekken, I'm like, okay, so he has his fireball, but again, the fact that sometimes they can sidestep through that, so I'm like, well, I'm completely useless now because I was depending on that fireball, but now it clicked back in the mind that they can sidestep it, so I'm like, okay, now I really got to work on my neutral game as opposed to it's wherever game they originally came from, you're just used to that setting. So
Right.
I think like crossing over characters and different games. It's fun. It's exciting to see, but at the same time, it can do damage on your thinking, especially when you're only used to thinking a certain way
Right.
when you're playing. So.
Right.
I could see that. Aaron was talking about that earlier with like, well, for instance, how many games do you usually enter when you go to majors?
When I go to majors, I typically enter 3.
Three.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
So Aaron tried to enter 5 at CEO, right?
Okay, let me tell you this story. Okay, so I'm tired just thinking about it, right? So, CEO Taku 2017 was actually the first tournament that I personally funded and went to by myself, right? Usually I go with friends or whatever, right? But I bought the flight myself, stayed in the hotel room by myself, all of that, right? And I entered five games, right? One of them wasn't traditionally a fighting game. It was Catherine, but still, it was another game where I had to switch my brain, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it was Catherine, Blaze Blue, Skullgirls, Persona, and Under Night.
No. Did you
Yeah.
play? Did you compete in those all in the same day, or were they spread out across the weekend?
3 of them were in the same day. 2 of them.
That's a lot.
2 were in another
That's
day.
a lot
yeah.
to have on your mind.
Okay.
And just switch back and forth. Like
It's. I mean, I didn't go 0-2 in any of them, right? But still, I didn't make it out of post in any of them either. But for those of you out there who you're going to a major for the first time and you see this 20 plus long list of games, and you're like, ooh, I'm kind of good at Guilty Gear, but Tekken is my game. But I think I can win at Puyo Puyo Tetris, right? So so you'll see this, right? But I implore you, I beg of you, right? Try to stick to 3, 4 at the most, right?
I say 3 at the most.
Yeah, these was be safe, right?
I mean, unless your dream, when you were born or you were growing up, was become Sonic Fox, live and breathe
Do it
the same
all.
way he
Yeah,
does.
just do it all, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, but yeah, just because you see players post hey, I got first in this game, second in these 2 games, and first in this other game, right? They have practiced, right? They have been doing this for years, months, what have you, right? Unless you've also been doing that, you do not want to be part of that life. Trust me.
It could be
Right,
some. It could be
yeah.
some good experience, but if you're trying to, you're trying to win,
Yeah.
it's probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, you could probably just asking for casuals and playing side matches
don't have to
without
play ranked,
entering and paying for the tournament. You can get good experience that way because you can just find the people that are better than you and ask them. Well, so this actually slides right into our next topic.
Yeah, slide
Because,
right into
and why don't you start on this
into
because
the
you had the experience
Lowkick
yesterday
DMs,
to talk about that.
But yeah, so last night at the tournament, X Blades, if you're watching, was a player that was here. And he asked me, while the bracket was still going on, he asked me, how do you get better as a fighting game player, right? And I told him, I was like, if I could put it in one sentence, right? If I had 3 seconds to tell you, I would say that you have to play people either on your level or better than you, right? And you have to be very honest about that, right? So I know that you went in training mode and you found the setup that you can throw after it, or you can overhead after it, or you can empty jump low overhead after it, right? You feel like you got right, but you have to do that versus actual people, right? You have to do your neutral versus actual people, and you have to be brave enough to say that I am objectively worse than this person at this game, right? That is a sentence that you have to be okay with saying, okay with thinking, okay with accepting, because if you don't, you will never get better, right? You are not the best in the world, right? You may be one day, but you're not right now.
But how are you going to get good, right? You know, like
Yeah.
there's only so much you could do. We've talked about this before. There's only so much you could do sitting in the comfort of your home
Yeah.
and playing online. You know, you need that experience going out in tournaments and
Yeah.
taking those L's.
Being okay with losing is very important on the road to being able to start winning, right? So for example, when I went to, I forget what tournament it was. I think it was Frosty 2015, I believe. But Doggerroad was in my Street Fighter pool, right? And I only played Karen at the time because Colleen and Manat didn't exist. But I sat there and the people behind us oh man, this guy's about to get mopped. I could hear them, right? And I'm just like, you know what? I think I can do okay, right? So the match started, right? And I just spent the whole round kind of staying away from him, right? And kind of trying to get hints in where I could, right? I actually took a round off, right? I didn't win. I got 0-2'd, but I got 2-0'd. But in that moment, I think that was the first time at a major where I was just like, I don't have to lose versus certain players, right? Because when people go to a majors and they see Punk next to their name, right? They're just like, oh, I'm gonna lose. That's it. I'm done, right? If you go into the match with that mentality, you're going to lose, right? You've already killed yourself halfway, right? So I don't know. I just think a lot of what fighting games are about is about confidence and knowing that you can win. There's a difference between knowing that you can win and saying that you will win no matter what. This guy's free, right? There's some positives to having that kind of mentality.
To have confidence.
But yeah,
But
I'm not
don't
saying
be overconfident.
Yeah, just don't be overconfident. Just walk up to Doc and be like, "Hey, you free? I'm about to money match you for $50. You about to lose $50." But
Right.
So Undrscore, maybe you could tell us a little bit more about your journey.
Yeah.
Becoming a sponsored player in Street Fighter and how you did it, and what was it like for you to to go out and actively try to get better?
Well, I started with the Red Bull Proving Grounds last year. I always did the online tournaments or whatever because I was one of those guys. I'm gonna just do the online tournaments. I'm afraid to go interact with these people because I'm nobody to them. I had that mentality at one point, but just the Nike logo, just do it. The only way for you to get better is you got to get out. You got to talk to people. You got to mingle. You got to ask for those sets. And people will send me messages through my CFN. Say yeah, I know you from Twitter. People talk about you. Can I have a set? And I'm like, sure. Now you can't do that to to a Daigo or anybody who's little Hollywood nowadays.
Yeah.
Right.
And they'll be like, no, what, you're Ultra Bronze? It's like, I'm not about to waste my
Who are
time.
you? Yeah.
Right. But as a pro player, I want to see people get better, so I will give them first to 5, first to 10, whatever they want, because if they feel they need a first to 10, to get an idea of what's going on, I don't mind that.
Yeah.
And but the only thing I ask for is you got to have a mic while we do it.
Yeah.
That way I can give you the advice as we go.
And you can give him feedback.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if I give you a feedback for a match that happened 30 minutes ago, you're not going to remember what you did. You're just going to be like, oh, okay, thanks. Then you're like,
Thanks.
what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But, there's a couple of people who are trying to get better with Cammy who reach out to me, and I'm like, I'm not the best Cammy in the world. I'm no, Kazunoko, or I'm no K-Brad, but I hold my own, and that's all that really matters. If you go to a tournament, even if it's an online thing, as long as you just, do your best and, play to the best of your ability, you're already on a good road to becoming a better player. And always, save your replays. So, yeah.
You just got Aaron excited
okay,
because he has how much footage on his PlayStation?
Yeah,
Oh Lord!
That's out of the top,
Got like 90 gigabytes.
yeah,
60
like-
of it is Skullgirls.
Oh my god.
I'm not joking. I'll put a screenshot on Twitter later. Keep going on Discord. I'm sorry.
For me to get better is like I look at myself as a player, but at the same time I also look at myself just as who I am outside of gaming.
Okay.
Like I have OCD, so I'm like always I have to like keep doing something, you know, to keep my mind off, you know, whatever it is I'm doing at that moment. So one thing that I do two things when I play against somebody. I either play with no sound, because it goes back to the whole, if you lose a sense, the others get stronger.
Yeah.
And it's like you will feel your buttons, and you know you will hear your button inputs. You're like, oh, that's wrong. You know, I didn't mean to do that. You know, and it's like you will begin to know yourself.
Yeah.
Another thing I would do something as simple as like chew gum, because if I'm busy chewing on the gum, trying not to choke, I'm not too overly involved in this game.
In the game, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, it allows me to be a little more at ease and stuff like that. But going back to the replays, yeah, always save that match that you had trouble with. Go back and watch that footage and find out what you know, look and see, you know, what you could have done differently, you know, how you could improve. If you fight this guy again or somebody else who mains that same character, you know how to counter that, or, you know, to block or whatever that is you're trying to do. So that's definitely what you always should do, just save your footage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most
But
definitely.
you're so excited about the footage part.
Dude, I died as soon as you said the term replays because
Well,
and I'm sorry to stick this.
So
with
so
this,
so so there was a point where I was like, Aaron, I want to be good at least one fighting game. You know, like I'm this TO guy who observes fighting games, and you know I'm here to support the community. But people ask me if I play fighting games, and I'm just like, to be honest with you, not really. I love them, but I'm not good at them, right? So I was like, all right, let me just try to pick up a game, right? And I went with Guilty Gear because that was the most appealing to me. That game was really fun. And Aaron's like, he's like, all right, we'll sit down, we'll play a couple sets, and we'll record it, right? And then so we played for like half an hour, and then we got
we played for like 4 hours.
Did we? I don't
It
remember.
was
You
It was
lose
a
track
long
of time
time.
when you're playing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then, it was.
We went
it
in
was
the
a good amount of
hyperbolic time chamber. Like we were there for like 4 years.
it was a good amount of time, and you know, I remember later on, Aaron was like, just like, don't do it now, do it later. Go watch your replays and just kind of take notes, and you know, on like what you did, and watch how you play as opposed to how you're playing in the moment, and then think about like what you could have done better, and how next time when that happens you can react to it.
Right.
You know, so I can totally see like how replays can be perfect, and for people when they go to tournaments and they play on stream, that's even better because, you know, they're getting that, like they can go back and rewatch the footage online, and at that point they're not just sitting in their home, they're up on stage playing on stream, and it's a totally different environment. So
Absolutely.
Yeah. Most definitely.
It's the mystery when you're playing somebody online. You don't know who you're playing.
Yeah.
But there's a hack to that. It's Twitch. So anytime I play online and I see a name come up, I go straight to Twitch and I type in their name. I'm like, I know this person is obviously streaming, and that person actually comes up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so while I'm looking at my monitor, I have them in the background. So I hear them, and I peek over from time to time to see like how they're reacting, and it's like, because you can see it in their face when the person's getting frustrated. So I'm like, okay, little do you know, I'm watching you
Yo, that's awesome.
while I'm playing
Do
you.
you ever,
Tech
do you ever
on my
like
God.
put them
Let's
on
go.
stream at all, or like do you ever? I feel like that would be awesome to see your reaction based on their reaction. I don't know, like
On their stream, they like look at your stream.
it's
and
weird,
It's their
it's
stream.
weird player matching.
It's
inception.
ongoing. The only
Yeah.
time I did that was with Low Tier God. When I
Okay.
ran it,
Oh,
when I ran into him online, and he almost rage quit the first time. He was like, you know what, it's a scrubby Cammy player. It's whatever. No, congratulations. But then I beat him again, and he rage quit, and then I made a reaction to that. I'm like, you know, there's no harm in it, but I'm trash. If I'm so trash, why did you rage quit?
Why'd you lose though? Yeah.
Right.
Why'd
you lose?
Right.
Run it
Worse
back.
than trash.
I think that was the only time I did a reaction video to like another player.
Yeah.
But then again, you know, it's whatever. When you got to remind yourself that at the end of the day, it's just a game.
It is.
You know, especially if you're playing at home. There's no money. You know, you know, you're just chilling. You know, you're unwinding. So if you so happen to run into, you know, a pro player online, and whether you win or lose, you know, you just have fun with
Hey,
it.
you ran into him. You got
Right.
match footage. Save that replay and watch it.
Like, so I run a Discord for a lot of aspiring Skullgirls players
Mm-hmm.
for like on PSN and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much anyone who like gets a game on PSN and like they find like the big Skullgirls Discord and like, hey, I got Skullgirls, I want to play with people, but I have it on PlayStation 4. Is anyone else has it on PlayStation 4?
Mm-hmm.
And like someone will refer them to my Discord because they're like, yeah, we're primarily PC. Adidas handles the PS4 people.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So pretty much, I get a bunch of new players, and it's Skullgirls, and generally we get a lot of new players. People have never played fighting games ever before in their lives, or at least got competitively, and like being able to portray to them all the time that like stop worrying about winning, stop worrying about like stop getting so frustrated, right? Because at the end of the day, you're trying to be on a level that that I am on when I've been on this level because I've been playing the game for a lot longer than you have.
Right.
You've only been playing for like a week or a month, or you've been on and off about with the game for like months at a time, or even years at a time. But
Mhm.
I've been playing nonstop for 6 to 7 years.
Right.
You're not going to beat me.
Right.
Okay. All right. And I'm not going to go all out against you because I don't need to. I already know I can win. This isn't about winning. This is about making sure you get better because that's why you came to my Discord,
Right.
right? You want to be able to get better. You want to be able to understand the game, right? And there's other people in the Discord too. There's plenty of Skullgirls players who don't even play on PS4, but they play on PC,
Mm-hmm.
and they're willing to help the other players in there too. They give them advice all the time. They explain things to them. There's there's someone in the Discord who records everything. Every
Right.
time you have a match with him, it's recorded.
Mhm.
Every time he makes an open lobby, it gets recorded, it gets put on his channel, and then he goes back into Discord, posts it, tags you, says, "Here's where you're playing."
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, so there's plenty of things in the Discord to help these people get better, and like I need to make sure they understand that just have fun, okay? Because if you're having fun, you're going to get better. And if you're
It's
having
easier to learn that way too.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
easier
Mhm.
to learn. It's much like you get like much less like stressed, right?
Yeah.
If you're having fun. I have fun with the game all the time. I can play anyone, doesn't matter what skill level you are. If you want to play, just hit me up, I'll play.
Mhm.
As long as I'm not busy, right? And I'll play with you. And if you are the kind of person who gets upset because you see me just spamming one move and it's just like, well, why are you so bad that I can just beat you with one move?
Right.
Okay, this isn't about like me winning. This is about seeing if you can get past this one move, and if you
Mhm.
can do it after 20 games, then I'll switch to another move.
Right. And that's a big problem with like new players who jump on. They want to get too good too quick, so they will watch like these tournaments and they will see like somebody just like spamming like a fireball or Gal's case like a flash kick and a sonic boom, and that's like, oh, that's easy. I can definitely go to the next Evo and become like #1.
Yeah.
But
It's like, no, man, it takes time.
Then they get their flash kit blocked online, and they get crash countered, and then they sell the game.
because one
They
of the
sell the
things,
game.
like the GameStop.
because one of the things that they do is pretty much like they'll look at it like, all right, I just need to like learn these combos, these optimal combos, optimal resets, or these optimal whatevers, and I'll
Mhm.
be good at the game. But then they go and play an actual person, and then not understand what's going on because
Mhm.
like they didn't take they're trying to run. They didn't take the time to learn the mechanics of the game. They didn't take the time to learn like what does this do. Like when
Mhm.
I tell everyone all the time, like go play the tutorial. I did. Do it again.
Right.
Because you clearly don't know what this is or what that is. And the
Right.
tutorial in the game tells you everything.
Mhm.
Okay. Some tutorials don't, like fighters. But
Yeah.
you
Yeah, and
know.
like just to like kind of like interject on that. So like I have a friend who he asked me to teach him
Mhm.
Skullgirls, right? And he knows who he is if he decides to watch this, right?
Okay.
And he asked me, and I was like, all right, go play the tutorial, right? I will, any character you want to learn, I'll sit down with you, whatever. We'll learn matchups, we'll learn what normals are for, whatever it's for. But play the tutorial first, right? And he didn't. And then we played matches, and I tried to sit down with him with normals and be like, this is what this normal does, this is what this special does.
And then it
And-
was just all the questions he could have learned.
Oh,
in the tutorial.
yeah, and it's just like,
Okay.
what's this like? What are your charges? Like, I was trying to teach him Skullgirls, and I'm just like, go play a tutorial. Go play the general game tutorial. And he's like, what are combo stages, right? And I'm just like, ah! Right? And like, it's just like, so just think about it in school terms, right? So like, I take notes in a notebook, right?
Yeah.
When I go to major sometimes locals, right? I also have videos on a flash drive on my laptop and on my PS4. I'm actually considering investing money into like an external hard drive for my PS4 because sometimes there'll be a game that I want to buy, and I'm like, what is taking up all this space on my PS4?
And you're just like,
and it's 60 gigabytes of Skullgirls replays. But just kind of look at it as like school, right? So when you go to school, right, what do? When you want to learn something, right? When you want to retain what the teacher's saying, right? And they don't have a PowerPoint. What they used to do, you take notes, right? Like I had an economics class in school, economics 101 and 102. I couldn't afford the book. But every day, the teacher would write on the whiteboard like what he was talking about, and we would watch videos, whatever. And I just had a notebook, and every word he said, bullet notes, dash points, and A in both classes, right? I didn't even need the book, right? But the book was like required for both classes, right?
Right.
But like, it's just like that with fighting games, right? Sit down, watch a replay at the top of the page, right? Like replay March 3rd, 2018, right? This is when this match happened, blank versus blank, right? Or like your Ryu versus like Manat, right? And like just write down like, okay, she puts the ball out here, she blocks Hadouken here, and then she tries to jump, yada yada, right. And like do that. Like it sounds silly, right? It does, but like once you do that, right, and you look at a whole page, right, where you just analyze like a 13-minute replay, right, you'll start to understand like, oh, well, this is a problem I had that's like falls under like 6 of these bullet points. I'm done. I'm never gonna do this again, right? And then you'll start winning, right? And then you'll start getting more quality replays where you can be like, oh, I understand that now, right? And you'll fight other people and you'll see patterns in their gameplay that you took notes on, right? For other players of the same character, and you be like, oh, I know how to punish that. Bam, right? Eventually, you start making out of pulls. Then you start winning. Top 8s. Then you're on TV. Then you get rich. Right? But yeah.
You're rich.
Rich, yeah.
Man.
FGC boys. But like, but yeah, like, if you want to get good, and this is with anything, right? Just watch people on your level or better than you, right? Take notes. Be willing to admit when you're wrong, because that is a problem. Adivas is my Skullgirls mentor, and it took me a long time to admit that he was better than I was.
3 years? 3, 4 years? Took you a while.
Long time, right? That's yeah, whatever.
So if he ever wins, you know.
Oh, I've won a couple times, you know, but
there's that pride.
There you go.
it's a fact this time. But no, you have to be like, you know, I'm not the best, and that's okay. I still have to drive to be the best, right? I can do it. I'm going to learn. I'm going to take the steps to learn, right? Because if you want it, it's worth working towards, right? Yeah. And like, you know, like I said, it's not just for fighting games. That's what anything.
So I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
How much time do you put into practicing a week?
Oh, from the moment I get home from work to about 2 in the morning.
Oh,
And now, is that like consistently every day, or is that like?
I have like a day off.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you have a training regimen then. Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
every single day, pretty much, including like streaming as well.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, wow.
And just a little unknown fact, I never used to do training mode. Things just clicked as I would play. Like
You had something to say about that, about the training mode. Because you were talking about it the other day. You were talking about it with Mars, about how he never watches. He goes in training mode for like 10 minutes and then he just leaves.
Yeah, and he goes straight online, and then like he complains about not being able to like do certain things against stuff. I'm like, well, did you go to a training room and practice it? And, like, you know, what was it? He was playing Guilty Gear. That's what it was. He just picked up Guilty Gear. And I watched him like sitting on the couch, and then I was listening to him watching like Guilty Gear videos, and he was like watching someone play Potemkin. Went in the training room, practiced for 5 minutes to see if he can get like this combo down. He probably got it like maybe 50% of the time, and then went straight online for hours.
Wow.
Well, I dropped my controller. Dang.
So, how much of that time that you spend, each night practicing is in the training room?
Well, when I start up and before I even go online, like I go online straight from the training room. So if there's something that I didn't nail the way I want to in that previous match, I could just practice it right then and there. But just going to the training room by itself, a week, 20 minutes. Like a cross up with Cammy, like I've been playing the game for like 2 years, but I just nailed her cross up like in November. Because in the back of your mind, no matter what you're doing, you're still thinking about that game. So I'm at work, I'm doing my thing, and I just go, oh.
Yeah.
And my students looked at me like, what's wrong with him? I figured out how to do that cross up. So the moment I got home, I tried it, and I was like, oh, it was like this the whole time. So even if you're not in a trainer room, if you watch enough of your replays, if you watch enough YouTube videos, it's replaying in your mind like all day long to the point where not only you're just looking at the video, but at the same time you're visualizing either your fight stick or your pad, and you're like, okay, so apparently it's this input. And after a while, like Tetris, it'll all fall into place, and you're like, oh, okay, well, let me go try.
Got it. Yeah.
That's exactly how it was with me. Like, I'm guilty. Like, I never really, pay too much mind with training mode. Like when I first started out, I was like, let me just go do some casuals and do some rank. But
I figured out.
but that's as a beginning player, But then as you take the game more seriously, you begin to love it more, and you have that passion for it. Then you're like, okay, now let me go, figure out, this frame setup and see how I can block this and how much damage this deals out and how much I take.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, always go to a training room with a goal in mind, whether it's like learn a combo or it's learn frame data. Because, like, I've lived with you for a while. Have you noticed me in training room ever?
I've never seen you in the training room actually.
Exactly.
I think yeah, I'm just not there. Are you ever in the training room?
Like once or twice a week.
Yeah, I was just thinking like maybe I'm just not there when you are in training room.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like honestly, like okay, so in Skullgirls, I'm at a very comfortable level where I can always make top 8. And like honestly, like as far as the things I don't.
What was that, Aaron?
I say
What was that? Keep speak up a little bit.
I can't hear you. Your mic
Right.
is down.
And so like there's like plenty of things in the game that I already know, and so like when I go to the training room, it's usually just like, all right, I don't remember what the frame data on this thing right now. What is it again? Or like, hey, can I make this setup better? Thinking about it now because I was like thinking about it some that point in time in the day. I was like, I do this a lot. Can I make that better? And I try it out, or And then other times is you mostly just like, all right, this person hit me with this thing. I'm gonna go reset that up in training room. Because Skullgirls is amazing like that, and then figure out what I can do against it.
Right.
So that's pretty much it. As far as like fighters, it's pretty much just been practicing with other characters and seeing what they're capable of doing at this point because I'm having character crisis. I can't figure out who I want to play.
Well, a lot of people went into fighters with like their team already set. Like I was telling you earlier, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, when I heard about fighters, I was like, oh yeah, Vegeta, Trunks, and Broly.
Right.
Now that Broly's coming out, I'm like, okay, well now I'm complete.
There you go.
But yeah, I think that's the thing, especially like with people who are fans of like DBZ. Once they hear the character announcements, they're like, well, I'm just going in, as a fan. I know these characters, so that's what makes it easier as opposed to a new person who just wants to see what the fuss is about. They're gonna play every single character before they even get an idea of what their solid team is.
My team. It was after the game came out, and I like set down. It's Team Real Dads. So it's Team Teen Gohan, Piccolo, and Android 16. Those are the real dads.
Those are the real dads.
Yeah. Being a pro player, it's a bit of a headache.
Yeah.
I won't say it was like it's too stressful, but at the same time, it feels like you have something to prove sometimes, even though you really don't.
Yeah.
You want to prove to people, this is the reason why you got that jersey. This is why, you have, a sponsorship. And like I mentioned before, you have some people who get that jersey and they're like, yeah, don't talk to me. He's like, I'm
Man.
your superior.
What is that mentality,
What's
though?
the deal with that?
I believe that's part of like the whole like competitive esports thing that the fighting game community is going through, and also part of the fact that like so many people get into the community from seeing tournaments and stuff and seeing all these top players and wanting to be that themselves
Yeah.
Mhm.
and being too up into their own head that they're like that they're not playing the game for fun at that point. They're just playing to be famous or like puff up their own ego or
Okay.
something like that,
Mhm.
right? I play video games for fun. I will
Same.
talk
Yeah.
shit
Fun.
and
What's that?
I will talk shit. I will
Can you guard cancel it?
I play anyone who challenges me. Okay, even if I don't play that game, I don't play Mortal Kombat X, but I've had people ask me, "Hey, want to play Mortal Kombat X with me?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'll
Right.
play." Right? And some of those people get really upset because I win, and I don't even
Mhm.
play that game. But uh, I love fighting games. I have a passion for it. I will play them, and it's not about me winning. It's about having fun playing with other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like one example that I saw recently, the Kill Sage and Sonic Fox. I think the Kill Sage more. I've seen him say it more. Are two Skullgirls players that played Marvel Infinite and dominated it at the beginning. Um, and when Infinite started not shining as brightly as it did, to put it lightly, a lot of people started dropping it. And the kill Sage, he was just like, I'm still gonna play it, right? And people are like, why are you still playing this game? It's dead. It's dumb. He's like, I play it because it's fun. I like it, right? And I think a lot of people like forget. It's just like every game has some hint of like BS in it, right?
Yeah.
Where it's just like, this sucks, right? Like this is unblockable. I can't see it. It's dumb and I hate it, right? But like you pick a game and you love it, right? And you play it for fun, right? Pick multiple games and play them for fun, right? At the end of the day, FGC is just one big family. We're all having fun together, right? There have been so many instances where players like interact with other players, and you see it from like just like acquaintances to friendships to rivals. Sometimes you get a couple love stories, right?
Yeah.
But like we're all a family here, right?
Mhm.
And that's an important thing, and we're a family having fun, right?
Should always be that way.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah. That's
Until you see me in a money match.
It's
Then I'm,
Then
I'm
it's
messing
on.
you up.
Yeah. Friendship's out the window at that point.
Friendship's out the window.
But once it's over,
I need that $20.
right. So go get a couple
hungry.
Big Macs.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
hungry. I want to go next door and buy wings.
Right.
See, true money matches is when y'all money matching for $10, and then like somebody loses, and then the person who won takes the other
To
person
dinner,
out to eat.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
I think a couple of my guys are doing that. It's Chicago versus Ohio.
Yeah.
Like this is like be the first time I see like a Street Fighter like team, because that's one of the new things they incorporated.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know too many people who do it, but
Yeah, that was a 3v3 teams at Frosty, I believe.
really,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah, team battle. Yeah.
Yeah, there was for what game?
Street Fighter.
Yeah, there was.
Street Fighter
I
5,
was
yeah.
I was one of the TOs.
Yeah.
Right, because Cool Kid was in one of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Cool Kid. Yeah.
Cool
he was,
Kid
yeah.
and his team. I think they placed first.
I
Yeah.
think they did. Yeah, they did win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cool Kid too, because that's another guy who taught me about like the Cammy Abigail matchup. Oh, I got murdered.
Is that
Like, so-
bad? Is it bad for her? I feel like it
It's-
isn't.
I
Because she
feel
can
like
outmaneuver him, right?
I feel like anyone who has to get close to Abigail
Loses.
what people forget about Abigail is he hits low.
Yeah.
People just think about the Abigail punch and vroom vroom and stuff like that, but he kicks low, and he has a nice amount of reach with those kicks, and I think that's what trips everybody up about that. And when I was playing him online, he was like, "Oh, you don't have to rush in. You have to take your time. He's big. You're gonna hit him regardless. But all it takes is that one block, especially if he has a V trigger on deck.
Yeah.
It's over for you. So he's one I look at. Rob TV's another dude. So yeah, there's a lot of people from the Midwest that even though we all came from the same beginnings, I idolize them in a way because they are also an inspiration to me to keep going because they have that same drive that I do. So don't just idolize your punks or your your smugs or your PR Balrogs. Idolize your hometown hero because
Yeah.
especially when they interviewed Cool Kid and he was thanking his wife and everybody who supported him.
Cool
Whatever.
Kid is so pure. Cool
Man.
Kid, if you watch this sometime, like I love you, man. You're so cool. Don't let
You're
that
so cool.
don't let the Abigail haters get to you, man. Like keep
That's
doing
great.
you, man.
He
Yeah.
inspired me to.
No,
He's
he
the
is a
one
cool
who taught
guy.
me Bob in Street Fighter Cross Second. Not directly. It's just he made a Bob guide, and I was like, oh, this
Mm-hmm.
is amazing.
But yeah.
But so we're approaching 90 minutes here, I believe. Yeah, we got like 30 seconds, so we'll run this outro. Thank you for coming on the podcast, man. It was a
And
pleasure
thank
having
you
you.
for having me. Thank you.
Is there anything you guys want to say before we end this podcast? I should probably say this. We're gonna run some exhibition matches with Underscore and Aaron and Divas. You guys are
I
all
guess
welcome.
I'll join.
Yeah,
I don't even
we can
play Street
like,
Fighter.
We can play Skullgirls if you want.
I'll probably run
We
the
don't have to
stream
push.
about another hour for. What do you think? Hour or half hour for exhibition matches? Because I'm gonna stop the podcast
Yeah.
and then we'll run a stream.
If it's the first to 10, it'd probably be about 30, 35
Yeah, I
minutes.
think about
Okay, so we'll run about a half hour stream.
Yeah.
I got our boy Christian over there. He can jump on commentary and yeah, we can just have fun with it. You know, we can when you're not in the match. Is it just you guys playing, or
If Divas that you want to play something,
Oh, since you asked so nicely, yes, I will play.
all right, fine. Well, I don't know. I guess I'll just do the first attempt with Underscore, and then we'll just figure it out. as we
okay?
go.
Well
Yeah.
then we'll have you and Christian hop on commentary and just we'll have
Alright.
fun with it for a little bit. So if you guys want to watch the after podcast, the after stream, we'll be live in 10 minutes. We're going to do a 10-minute intermission and then we'll be back on. But if you have any questions for Underscore and you'd like to ask him, feel free to message him on Twitter or you know, he's on Facebook and you're on Discord too, right?
Underscore everywhere.
There you
on
go.
Twitch. Underscore with 2 literal underscores following.
Feel free.
Sure.
Also, if you have anything to promote, feel free. Like shameless plug, go for it. If you want to tell anybody about anything, like by all means.
Next big thing will be the Combo Breaker, which will be in May. And there's a Chicago Melee, which is March 10th.
Oh, nice. Okay,
yeah.
wait. That's okay? Is that the Chicago Gaming Coalition? Right?
Yes.
Okay, so perfect. That actually leads into something that I forgot. But the Chicago Gaming Coalition is coming up, and it was Midwest Mayhem first, and now they brought the FGC into it. They have a $1,000 pot for Dragon Ball Fighters. They have, I think they have $250 across the board for the rest of the games.
Yeah.
For Street Fighter, Guilty Gear,
Smash, I think.
Smash.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely check that out March 10th. I think the FGC day is on the 10th only.
Yeah, it's
for
only
all
that Saturday.
Yeah.
From what I heard.
And we'll have more information posted if you're on our Discord or you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that. I'll be posting stuff on that soon. We might be there as well helping out. But for now, please check them out because, you know, it's going to be a pretty cool event. You know,
Absolutely.
I'm really happy that we've got those pot bonuses in there, especially for Dragon Ball. It's going to be really hype, bring out some new players, and probably you know, excel the competition forward. So looking forward to seeing that. But yeah, without further ado, that's
Parting words. Parting words. Not everyone in the FGC is an asshole. Okay? Even if they're a top player, they're not an asshole. So ask for sets. Always.
Yeah,
Ask
and
for
if they
sets.
turn you down, I mean, go to another player.
Hey,
Doesn't mean
just-
they're all-
just be like, oh, of course y'all want to play me. You know you're gonna lose. Yeah, get in their head. That's how you do it. That's how you get them to play.
The worst they can say is no.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Ties of Saga, to answer your question about SoundCloud, we are moving. I'm migrating to another podcast platform for our audio files. Right now, we don't have the budget to support SoundCloud's premium, and we exceeded our limit with you know, length time. So I am in the process of migrating and just creating our own RSS feed, and then I'll have the actual podcasts files and MP3s up to download and to listen to, and then I can resubmit to iTunes since I'm going to have to do another RSS feed. But for the time being, this is going to be exported, and this will be on YouTube, so you can check it out on there, and we'll export it as soon as this is done, and it should be uploaded in the next hour. So, but anyways, that's the podcast for today. for today. Tune in next week. We have some more guests coming out from Indianapolis, from Godlike Saturdays.
Ooh.
2 of the TOs that run it out there. And catch us next week at 3 p.m. Thank you.
Yeah.
All
Signing
right.
off. See you guys
Signing
later.
off. Later.